the example of the process I think that we've changed that has had a really good impact was that was mainly like the biggest one that I can think of right now is doing my like when I was running my own startup with my with a group of friends. We had a team of 8, pretty small team, but the way we manage our we essentially started talking about building a roadmap for the next 2 years, right? Quite ambitious. You have a small team. We were thinking about like the next 2 years, what the next 2 years is going to look like, and that roadmap when it became outdated and irrelevant, like pretty much after the first contact we had with the customer. We talked to the customer. We basically we were essentially was what we did was a mobile app for the apartments and condos to manage their relationship and communication better. So like a lot of the apartments I noticed when I was living in New York and in Toronto and Vancouver and Montreal, it's very like you know your neighbors, but you don't really talk to them as much, or like there's not that much of a communication or transparency going on around what's happening in the building, what the residents are doing, and what kind of offerings are available to you as a resident. So what we wanted to do was essentially streamline that process through a mobile app that we worked on. We created an MVP, and the moment we presented that to a customer, like a building management office, they said, "Yeah, this is not going to work for us. And they gave us a lot of valuable feedback, and we realized that and that kind of changed the way I started thinking about product management, because I was told since I started that you need to have a product roadmap, right? And you need to have a solid product roadmap if you want to have a successful product. And in today's world, I think you can have a successful product roadmap. But what I've learned from all the failures I've had and all the learnings I've got from the startups I worked at Shopify is that a roadmap is interesting if you want to show it to your stakeholders, go for it, but know that it's going to become outdated and irrelevant the moment you put that product that you have planned for next quarter in front of the customer. And you got to go back, you got to iterate, you got to fix it. There's no way you can move on to the next thing that you said you're going to work on in March if you don't get the first thing right. You either have to get rid of it, which is what was the point of even building it in the first place, if you're not going to iterate on it. And you don't know how long those iterations are going to take. So unless you are somehow have this superpower that you can predict the future and what the customers are going to do with your product and how they're going to use it and how many iterations you're going to do on that feature, by all means, product roadmap makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, I stopped using product roadmaps since then. I wrote an article about it. I know like few companies reached out to me on LinkedIn. They kind of changed their strategy, their process. They don't use product roadmaps anymore. They have this quarterly planning, strategic way of thinking about a product and how they build a product. And I had coffee with one of them, and he was telling me that it had completely changed their way they think about the business. Before they used to, the CEO was telling me that they used to promise their sales team specific features for like 6 months ahead of time. They would get a customer, put that feature under contract, and they were locked in to build that feature, put that feature under. 6 months later, that feature didn't make any sense for them to build. It was just not aligned with what they were doing at the time. But by changing that, we're saying that right now, they tell their sales team, give us all the feedback that you have, we prioritize them, and we bring them to our next quarter's planning if it does align with the OKRs. And again, those are really hard conversations to have, right? Everyone wants a roadmap. Your sales team, they want a roadmap. Your customer success team, they want a roadmap. Your support people, your users, your customers, they want a roadmap. But by really changing the conversation around what are the problems you're having today, and let us take this back to our product and figure out how we can solve them for you in a timely fashion, or in a way that it makes sense at the right time. Those are hard conversations to have, but they help your product team tremendously, for sure.